Assalamualaikum Madam Shaliza and everyone. My name is Muhammad Haikal and today me and my members which are Muhammad Nabil Shafiq, Muhammad Anis Ashraf, Abdul Wazif and Ahmad Zamir will be presenting about South Africa economic problems. So let's start with the introduction. South Africa is home to over 58.43 million people with multiracial population. It is the 23rd most populous nation in the world, and the land covers around 1,221,037 square kilometers. And it is also a part of an international forum called Groups of 20, or we commonly known as G20. South Africa is the second largest economy in the entire continent of Africa and is the most industrialized, technologically advanced, and economically diversified. South Africa also adopts a mixed economic system with the score of 59.7 in the Index of Economic Freedom. A brief history or a brief explanation of South Africa economy is South Africa almost tripled its economy and peaking at 400 billion USD with its GDP since international sanctions in the year 1996, though it has since declined to roughly 283 billion USD in 2020, possibly due to COVID-19 pandemic, as expected. Although South Africa is the largest producer of platinum and chromium, mining only contributes to 8% of the entire country's GDP. Also, agriculture contributes the least to the economy with only 3% of the entire GDP. However, tertiary sectors like finance and general government services contribute the most to the country's entire GDP with 20% and 18% respectively. Now I'm done with our presentation. I would like to pass it to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Wazir Abdul Wahab. Today I will present about issue in South Africa. Issue faced by South Africa is unemployment. Unemployment is someone wanting to work but not getting a job. According to Keynes, unemployment rate of 4% and below is calculated to achieve full employment for a country. There are two types of unemployment in South Africa. First, structural unemployment. Structural unemployment occurs when there is a change in the structure of the economy. Unemployment rate of South Africa shows that there is an increasing of rate and it is sustained since 2000. We can see an increasing rate in the periods 2000 to 2003, 2008 to 2010, 2011 to 2012, 2013 to 2017 and 2018 to 2019. From these periods, we can see that the largest part of unemployment in South Africa is structural unemployment. Second type of unemployment in South Africa is frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment occurs when a volunteer worker stops working to find a better job, when a student is applying for a job after graduation, or a contractor is waiting for a new project after a project ends. Frictional unemployment is temporary or short-term, and this unemployment often occurs in an economy. South Africa have shown that from 2000 to 2019, there has been frictional unemployment. As shown in the data, there is the percentage of frictional unemployment in excess of 4%. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Anis Ashraf Anwar and I'm gonna present from my part that is graph chart unemployment rate of South Africa. From this graph, we can see that from 2000 until 2020, there is increase in employment rate, but we can see the decrease in unemployment rate on the fourth quarter of 2008, but gradually increase in the unemployment rate by 26 or 25.99%. The trend is 26%, and the quantity of people unemployed is increased from 701,000 to 7.2 million people. The unemployment rate is counted by quantities of people looking for a job and is in manual labor. Okay, for the next is the relationship between inflation and unemployment rate graph. As we can see from the graph, that is as the unemployment rate increase, the inflation rate will decrease. And based on the graph, we can see that the clustering took place on 24 to 26%. The clustering is referred to the count of the unemployment rate in South Africa, means that between 24 to 26%, there is a lot of unemployment rate or people looking for job at that time. Okay, that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Nabil Shafiq bin Manasik and I'm here to present about recommendation how to solve South Africa's economic problems. To solve the structural unemployment, government can set up training centers where the unemployed can go to learn new skills ever since their old skills are already obsolete. Next, the government can encourage jobless workers to move to industries where jobs are still available. Doing so would still make the skills of the workers useful. Lastly, tax incentives can be given out to certain economic areas where the payment of taxes will be lowered, thus encouraging businesses to move there. Next, to solve the frictional unemployment, government can supply better job information. For example, they can post the job information in better mediums such as the internet, where it'll get better exposure. Lastly, government can set up job centers where jobless workers will be better matched to a job vacancy where it can suit them. Next, I'm going to talk about the policies that can be implemented by the government to control the unemployment problem. The first policy that can be implemented is called the expansionary fiscal policy, where the government expenditure will be higher than the government budget, otherwise known as the tax. The government expenditure is raised to increase the aggregate demand and to close the deflationary gap. Furthermore, the indirect taxes will be lowered to increase the consumption of goods and services in the market. Thus, the production of goods and services will increase, creating more job vacancies. Lastly is called the expansionary monetary policy. This policy is to increase money supply in the market, and it can be done by the open market operation where the central bank will be buying treasury bills from the public. Next, the central bank will reduce their cash or liquidity ratio from all commercial banks, enabling the commercial banks to provide more loans to the public. Lastly, the interest rate of the deposits will be decreased. This is done to encourage public to spend more to increase the aggregate demand in the market.
Hello,
Thank
and
you.
my name is Ahmad Zameh, and I will explain about the conclusion. So the conclusion that we can conclude that the South Africa adopt a mixed economic system, which that a combined aspect of both capitalism and socialism, that really helps in the efficient allocation of resources. And resources are allocated efficiently to where they are needed the most in the private sector, and hence the customer needs can be a betterment. Because in a free market with competition, the enterprise can produce more efficiently and reward with a higher profits. The companies are thus motivated to allocate capital to achieve innovation and efficiency of a production. Plus, customer can receive the best value for what they paid for. Moreover, the unemployment problem is a waste of potential labor, as the production of goods can be increased if this problem is solved, and the skill of the workers will not go to waste. By solving this problem, it can maximizing potential output in an economy, achieving productive efficiency and economic growth. It also reduces inequality and prevent relative poverty from those who are unemployed. Plus, the full employment will improve the business and the consumer confidence, which will encourage higher growth in the long term. Unemployment is a big cause of poverty, stress, and social problems. And a full employment can reduce the government welfare spending and enable more income tax to improve in the budget position. We can say if the South Africa known as officially as the Republic of South Africa (RSA) follow the recommendation either it will give a big impact and change on their country economy. Thank you. That's all from us.